all together now. Ichi ni Sanda. Time for AEW news. Let's get right into things. I absolutely can't wait. Okay, there's so much silliness going on. And so on November 12th, AEW filed to trademark AEW Tidal Wave. Let's rank these. Oh my God, these are terrible names. Okay. AEW Tidal Wave. What? AEW Blitz. What? AEW Firestorm. What? That's Darby Allin's. It'll just be Darby Allin, a compilation of him doing fire spots. And then AEW Fire. What? At the ends of time, we're gonna burn it down. Right? So AEW Firestorm and AEW Fire. It's like, what could these possibly be for? He's setting up a new show? Do they move Collision to after Dynamite and then make a new show? And then it's funny too, because it's like AEW Tidal Wave. Like, you know, Bischoff did the whole Nitro and then Thunder, and then Tony Khan's ideas are like Blitz, Fire. It's like fire, you know, it's like thunder, but it's fire. It's great. As names of shows, that's like as TNA as it gets, in my opinion. But they trademark all of those names, so let's see what comes of it. Speaking of what comes of things, Jim Ross hits us with a health update, and he said, "By God, King, I'm better today than I've been in a long time." And he also confirmed that he sold his Florida condo and has officially moved back to Norman, Oklahoma. Good. He announced he plans to return to AEW commentary in the next few weeks, King. Excited about the opportunity. I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't come back to commentary there, because this is where he goes to these hotels. He falls down, or he fell in an airport that one time or whatever. I just don't want to hear about him getting injured and hurting himself and all of these things. Moving along here. So the deadline for Paramount, Comcast, and Netflix to submit non-binding first-round bids is next week for Warner Bros. Discovery. This is courtesy of Raj Giri. November 20th, per WSJ, WBD hopes to complete the auction process by the end of the year. So there you go. It's starting to become crunch time here. Former WWE star BJ Ray reacts to a "We Want BJ Ray" sign at AEW Blood and Guts. And he says, "Shall we give them people what they want?" So you got to give him credit. He shows up to the TNA turning point or whatever, trying to get attention. And maybe that's not the best way to go about it. And then obviously this is a plant. Like, he DM'd somebody, he did a podcast appearance, or he hit somebody up and was like, that's his friend or something. "Hey, will you hold up a sign of 'We Want,' or something like that?" It has to be. Or maybe this guy's really a fan of BJ Ray and follows him on Twitter and is just one of these AEW sickos who's like, "Yeah, let's get BJ Ray in here." No one knows who that guy is. All right. And as much as I put him over too, it's like, unless he makes noise like this, we're not going to talk about him, but we're talking about him. So this didn't really galvanize, though. I think people are just overlooking this BJ Ray shit. They're like, who gives a But he's trying to make waves. He wants the crowds chanting for him, or he wants to try and get hired by TNA or AEW. So hopefully he's successful in that. If I were him, though, I'd try like NWA or something, right? Because they, I think, would be, and not to on them, I'm just saying that would be a place where he could develop a little more. They would actually hire him. You know, but maybe he's aiming for the big dogs because he wants like a good paycheck, but he was at like the lowest level of WWE. So I don't really know what kind of paychecks he was getting at the time, right? Like, I don't even think he was on NXT or whatever. So moving along here, on Saturday, this is about a week ago. On Saturday, Samoa Joe served as the Navajo Warriors' final opponent, returning to the Indies after a decade away. And he entered in familiar fashion. Let's check out the Navajo Warrior
right there.
But and he comes out to dun, 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 dun. What is that? Pharaoh Munch, right?
You talk about a villain. Look no further.
Oh no, is that just the intro to his shit? It sounded like Pharaoh Munch. Get the fuck.
Joe is getting the same response as Nav.
And it's a sight, a sound that Samoa Joe has missed over the past decade. From ROH to TNA to WWE to AEW. There's something about a room like this that feels like home to Samoa Joe, especially in there with a man who's been alongside him since day one in the form of the Navajo Warrior.
And think about where this man is.
Hell yeah, dude. Show the Navajo Warrior too. So MVP reveals that he signed an extension with AEW. He says, recently I signed an extension and I'll be with AEW for quite a while in my current capacity and hopefully beyond in a managerial capacity and to whatever extent possibly behind the scenes. I'm very happy where I'm at right now in my career at this stage to be able to continue to contribute to the business and make money with my friends and entertain at the level that we're still able to maintain. I appreciate Tony Khan for giving me, Bobby, and Shelton an opportunity to get the team back together for a final run, and the future looks bright. I could see Cedric showing up here soon, too. Not to blow up his spot, but just be on the lookout for that. And good for MVP. It seems like Tony, if we're to believe Husey, did you guys notice I added the new fucking
Allegedly.
But then now they're
Allegedly.
Allegedly, right? When he was on the show, he was saying that like Edge and Christian re-signed long-term deals is what he's hearing with AEW. And if that's the case, then they're also signing up MVP. I just see Tony Khan throw in a fucking boatload of cash at Chris Jericho to stay there. But speaking of making boatloads of cash, this guy getting paid from two companies at once here. No, I don't know if that's the case, but Andrade, hopefully he worked Tony Khan into a signing bonus though, right? And then he gets paid for that appearance and gets a big fucking signing bonus. And then, oh, I'm actually under a contract. Peace out. See you guys never. It is reportedly claimed by some people close to the situation that Andrade's non-compete is worldwide and not just for the United States. So stupid, dumb Dave Meltzer, okay? We'll crack flutes in the chat for this one. So fucking dummy Dave Meltzer goes, it's reportedly claimed by some people close to the situation that Andrade's non-compete is worldwide, not just for the United States. But you said before that he was allowed to compete in Mexico and that you were talking to people close to the situation who knew, people who know about the Andrade. He's allowed to compete in Mexico. And then just like 4 days later, oh, he's not allowed to compete in the it's not just for the United States, it's worldwide. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
Historically bad last couple of years. Buddy Matthews provided an update on his ankle injury, talking about a couple of years. Holy fuck, he's been gone forever. He says, today was the first time. Today was the first time since I'm not even gonna do it to hit a hack squat. I hit a hack squat. I know those hack squats, so I hurt a lot. Still very restricted with ankle mobility, but working on it daily. Numbness is still a factor, but hopefully fear is not a factor for me. It subsides in the near future, but still unknown at this time. Swelling depends on the amount of rehab I've done that day, but easily maintained with icing post. Take each day as it comes. I don't believe his fucking ankles even hurt this bad. I think he just is getting paid to stay home. No, it probably is. But he's milking it. That's what people, you guys you notice that in AW, people just milk those injury leaves, right? Why the fuck wouldn't you? Okay. Why wouldn't you? And happy American Thanksgiving, by the way. I don't know what exact day that's on, but happy to all of you. I don't know. Is that tomorrow? When is that for you guys? Ours was a month ago there, buddy, and our igloos there, bud. But yeah, Buddy Matthews hurt his goddamn ankle in Australia, and we know him and Rhea Ripley aren't celebrating Thanksgiving, but yeah, on that fucking janky ring, it's so fucked up. Even the tracks, even the WWE Tough Enough kids had a fucking proper ring to work out in. You know what I'm saying? So MVP says he agrees with Bret Hart's assertion that WWE CCO Triple H is a phony. He's a big fat phony. Is Thanksgiving 2 Thursdays from now? Sorry, I don't know when it is. I thought it was like this weekend for some reason for you guys. So yeah, I should know. It's like you guys are in America. It's like I know about every other fucking day. I just Thanksgiving to me is always like, what? That shit's in October. Yeah. I refuse to acknowledge it any other way. He says, man, I agree with Brett's assertion. I've said before, I call him a coward and a liar. Let's put it like this. If you really want to, you can go to YouTube and you can look up the interviews of various wrestlers through the years of what their opinion is of the man. Interviews of guys that were his friends, what they had to say about the guy. I can think of more guys that dislike him than I can think of guys that do like him. And oh no, I've gone cross-eyed. People say MVP salty or bitter. Like, no, I have personal issues with the dude stemming from professional stuff. See? I fucking told you guys. But just the things that he does, how he carries himself, I just don't have respect for the guy. The newer generation, they don't know the guy yet. No, MVP. The newer generation know who he is now. They know who he is now. They know the person he is now. And when he was politicking with you backstage and taking your spot when people were like, MVP should be world champ, I remember those days. The people now don't even know him like that whatsoever. They think he's brilliant, and a lot of them should for the hand he's had in their career. But the guys that had to work with him back in the day will tell you a different story. This is why Edge and Christian don't give a fuck about going back to the Fed, guys. This is what, well, here's the thing. Jericho and Triple H always made good opponents. They always like worked well. But even they have stories of heat back in the day. Jericho's talked about it, how him and Triple H used to butt heads and shit. And how they were both politicky, and it's, you know, they sort of butt heads because of it. They think he's okay. There's guys who are way up the totem pole than me that are telling you that this guy's no bueno. Exactly. It's just different perspectives on things. Stevie Richards had choice words for the AEW roster. And he said out loud what a lot of people think, and a lot of people will say, but it is a bold statement to say what he's about to say about Logan Paul and AEW. I think a lot of people agree. Chat, you can let me know, or if you're listening to this in clip form, down in the comments or in chat right now, Logan Paul or the AEW roster, which is better? I say Logan Paul clears most of the roster. Now, Stevie Richards, I think, says he's a bigger star, which is true. If you want to isolate just in wrestling, I don't know. I think Logan Paul is a better wrestler than a bunch of the AEW guys, like the majority of the roster. Here's the thing, though. The majority of the AEW roster knows how to wrestle. They just don't, because they know what Tony likes, and they know what he expects, and they know what Meltzer likes, and they know what the sickos want. And so that's why they go and do that. Like, Dave's told stories of PWG matches where Ricochet's like, I think it was Ricochet, like gave him a thumbs up or whatever in the middle of the match, and the crowd was chanting whatever the fuck. And like, Dave's over with that section of fucking sickos, dude. So when it comes to Logan Paul, it's like, he's a bigger star for sure than most people in wrestling in general. To say he's like a better in wrestling worker, I think he was just trained properly. And yeah, he operates at a level that this is some Kurt Angle shit, the way he's been able to come in and just have fucking bangers. You got to be honest about that. You know, I might not like his fucking Crypto Zoo scandals and all of that shit, but you have to be honest. Like, who on the AEW roster holds a candle to his promos and wrestling ability, right? Let's be honest, Crypto Zoo. I think he's innocent now or whatever. But, even like a Kenny Omega, I'm sorry, like Logan Paul's a bigger star, way better on the stick. Is he a better wrestler? You could argue, yeah. You know, you really could argue. Honestly, you could argue he is. Now, some people will say everything in WWE is premeditated. That's just not true. You can tell by how Cena's out there yelling spots out to his opponents, and the way Sheamus is out there calling spots. You can see it. Like, guys are just going out there, especially the vets. They're just going out there and working, man. Free flow. That's how all the greats did it. Mr. Kennedy was on Maven's channel. Maven here, talking about how him and Eddie Guerrero went out there and they just called everything in the fucking ring, you know? Do I think Logan could go out there and just call everything? I think he'd be able to hold his own. I think guys have gone out there with him and they've made him call it in the fucking ring. Obviously, you're going to pre-plan some spots, but like, yeah, they taught him the right way. I would have faith that he would be able to have a match with Okada for sure, right? Like, who are they saying that like Logan doesn't stack up to? An Omega? Dude, he's fucking had to slow it down. Could Logan Paul do all the shit Ospreay does? I'm pretty sure, dude. I'm pretty sure he could butterfly pile drive dudes on their necks. I'm pretty sure he could do suicide dives through the rope, clothesline on a doomsday or whatever the fuck, and land on his neck. I'm pretty sure he could do all that. I'm pretty sure he could do a Oz cutter, do the front flip handspring into the cutter. I'm pretty sure he could do all that shit. So, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I don't know if we're just, as far as star goes, it's not, you can't dispute it. As far as fucking pro wrestling goes, okay, I could see why some guys might take offense to that, like a Lashley or a Kyle O'Reilly, even like one of these guys with a fucking long career where they've put it down in different companies and shit, and with different styles, and like a Lashley, even though some people like, sickos would say Ospreay's better than Lashley, even though he's been at the highest level in every company he's ever fucking been in, other than AEW, because they don't know how to fucking push the right guys, but or at least have Lashley threatening someone for that world title. I can't believe that hasn't happened yet. Most intimidating guy on your fucking roster. But either way, to make it about Logan Paul, I think you could argue that even as a sicko, when it comes to the wrestling, just the wrestling, he's up there, dude. Have we seen him have like a chain wrestling match with Chris Benoit the way Angle did and shit? No. And I'm not saying he's as good as Kurt, but the current landscape of pro wrestling, yeah, I'd say he's like the tippy top, especially for how quick he's done it. You mean in 5 years he's going to be better and have more psychology? Holy shit, he's already so good, So, anyways, this is what Stevie Richards, he said the quiet part out loud. Usually he's hating and is bitter.
And I won't make it
no. I'm going to say
easy.
Logan Paul is better than everybody in AEW.
Boom. He just said he's better than. So it's not about like whoever posted this clip said, or Heel Uzi says Paul is a bigger star than any and better. Oh, so he's just adding that extra shot. He's a bigger star and better. There you go. He is a bigger star. I mean, you can't argue that, but dude, he cleared it out right there. Stevie Richards spitting. I know some people don't like him and James Here's takes, and this one's controversial too, but I think we can all agree, dude, that it's at least he should be in the conversation.
I won't make it
no. I'm going to say
easy.
Logan Paul is better than everybody in AEW.
John Moxley.
Yes.
Darby Allin.
1000%.
Will Ospreay.
Yes.
Swerve Strickland.
Yes.
Kenny Omega. Young Bucks.
Yes.
Why? There's some big names there. Why is Logan Paul better than them?
Because he's a character.
And I won't.
It's true, man. It's true. There are guys like Samoa Joe and stuff like that you wouldn't, that it's like, okay, well, Joe's the fucking man, right? That you don't want to hate on in AEW, but like even Hangman, you see fucking Logan hit his shit way cleaner, and he does like a bit of what everybody can do. Yeah, he's saying he's better than everyone, better than even Swerve. Swerve's a character too, though, buddy. I don't know if you know that, and he gets heat for that shit. So speaking of heat, Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful Select report that there are conspiracy theories that Tony Khan and AEW blocked Shinsuke Nakamura from wrestling Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, this is the fucking problem, dude. Dave Meltzer goes out there and tries to say, like, pin it on WWE. Well, Shinsuke wanted to do it and Tanahashi wanted to do it, but then WWE didn't let him, and that's why AEW swooped in and got Okada in the match. No, Dave, you're lying. It's not WWE's fault. And then when it comes to this, to Sapp here, he's saying that nobody from WWE had even heard of that being broached. Right. So just again, Fightful's been picking their spots to own Dave. I think it's funny. And say what you will about Fightful. You guys know I've done my fair share of roasts on them, just pointing out a positive, right? They fucking pick their spots to roast Dave, and I like it. Or to at least just like disprove his shit that he just fantasizes about. But who knows? This could be made up too. Who knows? Did they reach out to people in WWE? Apparently you got TNA sources working you guys purposefully now. Who fucking knows if anything that's being told to the dirt sheets is true ever. But either way, he says, New Japan always knew it was a pipe dream. Numerous New Japan sources confirmed there was no AEW shutting down that match. It was very clearly stated from a rep that there was no situation like that happening. Guys, this is what happened. I'm going to tell you guys what the fuck happened, okay? Tanahashi wanted Shinsuke. WWE didn't even really hear or know about it, or it came across their desk, and they're just like, we don't fucking know, man. Whatever. before it even came, or else before it even came across their desk, Tone just loves Tanahashi-san. Tanahashi loves Tone. Tone called him up and was like, please, Okada, it's got to be Okada. So it's not like a shutdown. It's just like, well, we're partnered together. So it's got to be Okada, right, Right, Tanahashi-san? Sensei Tanahashi? As he's polishing Tanahashi's shoes, right? That's how this went down. Yeah, I mean, you can't, AEW didn't shut it down, but WWE would have gave them Shinsuke, but they would have been like, you can't book AEW guys or whatever. That's how it would have went down. It's obvious that if those rumors came out and people were like, yeah, in Nuge, they wanted Shinsuke. Okay, then Tanahashi fucking wanted Shinsuke. That's his dream. And then Tony Khan comes in and goes, well, I'll give you money and you can do Okada. And we're partners, remember? You're my friend. So then Tanahashi's like, oh, okay, we'll do fucking Okada. That's all it is, man. It's just maintaining relationships and what relationships they have and shit like that. So I don't want to put heat on anybody, even though we're going to give Tone all the heat in the world. But Daniel Garcia's comments on AEW's compilation of Moxley tapping out, cry emoji. And then he's just like, delete this. AI is wild. What the fuck? L. Jeff Jones. And then this guy, Wrestle Purists, puts a laughy cry. Oh, this is so funny. Why? Because Elboo's profile banner is him fucking hanging out with Daniel Garcia. Is that why this is cry emoji? Like, no one cares. New Japan reported. So this is from The Observer, okay? New Japan reportedly sold around 6,000 tickets for Wrestle Kingdom, Brian, following the announcement of Tanahashi versus Okada. So again, it's just like a technicality with Dave Meltzer here. Bass Meltzer's just flute Meltzer. It's just Feltzer. Just Feltzer, dude. Feltzer Meltzer. Dave Feltzer, man. We're just felting him. So here's the thing. He's trying to sit here. Dave is trying to pretend that like they announced Okada, 6,000 tickets got sold, which I could see that. Like Okada in Japan is, one of the fucking last draws they had. But they would have, it's in January, like in the new year. They're going to sell those tickets, I feel, regardless. But yeah, there you go. They're taking the W for like Tony Khan and Okada. I just know that's what Wavy Davey's trying to do. Dave Feltzer's trying to do. So on The Observer, Megan Bain, their buddy, according to The Observer, they say that Megan Bain is doing an ambitious schedule, becoming the first wrestler in history, Brian, to be in major tournaments at the same time in US and Japan. Bro, the AEW tag tournament is not a major fucking tournament. What makes it major? Come on, homie, we major. What makes it major? Because it's on AEW? Like, this is what I mean. What makes AEW major in any way, shape, or form? Would he consider TNA a major tournament back when they were doing fucking round robin tournaments and shit? I wonder if he used to. If someone pulls that up and says, yes, Dave used to do that, Phil, I'll go, okay, I'll shut the fuck up. But at the end of the day, it's like major tournament, bro. So, and this is just comes down to booking, I guess. But Dave goes, nobody, not the Funks, Stan Hansen, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, or even Hichisera achieved this feat. Megan worked the weekend in Japan, went back to the U.S. for Blood and Guts, then flew back to continue for Stardom. Oh, so he's talking about the Stardom tournament or what? Will return to U.S. for Full Gear weekend, return to Japan to finish the Goddesses Tag League tournament, and then come back to US again for AEW in December, Brian. So he's talking about like a Stardom tournament and the fucking AEW major tournaments. To who? To who, Dave? Fuck you talking about? Two major tournaments. Wowza. Good for her, I guess, but like even that schedule, Ric Flair would laugh at that. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Oh, she's competing in 2 tournaments, major ones. Okay. So 2 indies could just say they're doing tournaments, and then 3 indies should team up, all book tournaments at the same time, and then book the same person, and then make fun of Dave for this and say that they're not even Hulk Hogan competed in 3 tournaments at once, Dave. But this schedule here, that's awesome. She's going back and forth, Japan, fucking America. That's awesome. Good for Megan Bain. She rules. What I'm saying, though, is that other people, Hulk Hogan worked 400 days in 1 year, dude. Well, let me tell you something, brother. He worked 452 days 1 year. 100 extra days, man. And then, a few days off, one every quarter, right? You got to have one, brother. No one, these aren't major tournaments. It offends me. He's fucking saying this. Do people in wrestling consider these major fucking tournaments? I don't know. Maybe I'm harping on that too much, but to compare it to Hogan and Andre and shit, what the fuck? Stan Hansen, Hogan, Flair, some of these guys, man, were on the road doing crazy miles, which that's the impressive thing. What's impressive about there being 2 tournaments at once? I really don't get it, other than well, look at the miles she's putting in. Japan, America. That's what he's really trying to put over. And then he compares her to Hulk Hogan somehow. I really don't get it. So speaking of numbers, we talked about numbers and all of that stuff quickly, and then we're going to get into blood and guts stuff and then some cringe tone. But we talked about numbers, right? There's way less interest. I believe they did 10,000, over 10,000 or maybe even more. I wanted to say 20,000. That doesn't seem right. But listen, man, they've distributed about 5,000 ticks. They're set up for 7,700. I don't know, dude. Are they going to get a janky ring again? Or were you guys able to fucking build one that's 18 by 18? What the fuck's going on here? And just the Australia fan base is falling off. So tickets, though, for Full Gear, shout them out for this one. 8,158 sold. About 9,000 they're set up for. This is on November 22nd, Full Gear. Good for them. Actually a decent house in New Jersey there. I mean, again, SmackDown and Raw sell more tickets, and we're not doing that. We're comparing it to TNA. So destroying TNA's last pay-per-view sales for tickets. Okay, so there you go. And good for them. That's actually a house. But how sad is it that we look at 8,000, which AEW used to do for Dynamite, and then we go, oh, a house. Good house for your pay-per-view. It's fucking sad, man. But a W for AEW there. The W is for win. AEW Dynamite scored its best numbers for blood and guts. Let's get into some blood and guts reactions here and whatnot. AEW scored its best numbers, or not even reactions, just updates, or with Ric Flair is what it is. I don't know why I keep saying reactions. I guess reactions to the fucking bounce back in the ratings, but the bounce back is weak too. Raj Giri says AEW Dynamite scored its best numbers in months for Wednesday's Blood and Guts episode. Dynamite averaged 600K viewers, up 21%, with a 0.15 in the key demo, up 67%. Now, sicko, dumbfuck, redax are taking victory laps with this shit.
No pop.
They used to do this all the time, guys. 0.15 used to be their normal number. Now they have to do a specialty cage match, and then the key demo spikes up because it's a gimmicked cage match. Just like when TNA does an Ultimate X, their fucking shit pops up a little bit, just like every wrestling company. You cannot be happy about a 600K right now. You can't be. Why? Because 2 years ago, this was tragic. This was fucking shot through the heart, and you're to blame, right? This was a fucking dagger. This was a kill shot, death blow. Next week, they're going to be below 500K again. They had to break out 2 rings and 2 cages and say Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat are going to be on this fucking show in order to draw this, dude. These aren't good numbers. And it's just a little spike. This will go away immediately. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom or downplay what they did, but we see this with Tone all the time. He gets one thing. None of the storylines were good going into this. Nothing matters coming out of this. They're pretending like it wasn't because there was 2 rings. If WWE tomorrow announced next Raw, 3 rings, World War III returns from WC or whatever the fuck, 3 rings and a cage, they'd get a bunch of fucking people tune into that who maybe have fallen off or would watch it on replay or whatever the fuck. You guys know this, right? We all knew, just like when Halloween, okay, it's expected, the World Series, all these shows are going to do bad ratings. We all knew this, right? all of a sudden now they do 2 rings in a giant cage and people are pretending like they weren't going to do a rating, obviously. And this isn't even a rating. This is 600K. It's fucking terrible. Next week, they'll be right back to below 600K. The week after, they'll be in the 400s again. They won't. It would be awesome if Tony Khan capitalized on this shit. But the reason that key demo went up so high is because that's the wrestling fans who all are watching WWE now. They all went back to WWE again and stopped watching AEW. And they tuned in because it's War Games. Even PWT, even Phil S. Marks, dude. I've been so like, fuck AEW. And every Wednesday, what have we been doing, chat? I'm just like laughing and snickering at some shit I see on the TV while I'm fucking doing news and segments and bad impressions. Okay? That's what the fuck I do while Dynamite's on now. I'm just way more locked into my show. Like before we were watching, but even last Wednesday, I was like, whoa, we're watching Blood and Guts. Like I fucking watched that shit and gave my thoughts on it and shit. It's like a specialty event, dude. So I don't know why people are taking victory laps and shit. It's like, guys, this doesn't mean that WBD isn't about to sell to one of these companies that's in business with WWE. You guys understand that, right? You guys understand this won't save them, right? And this will not last, right? Unless Tony really figures it out. Okay, how do you keep these people? That should be his goal this next show. Team meeting. How do we keep all those fucking extra people who came back and watched our shit? Here's the thing, too. So many people stopped watching AEW already. This is just like some of the people who used to watch them last year and don't anymore came back to check in on this. What numbers did Blood and Guts do before? Do we have to pull it up year by year, what Blood and Guts does every year, every time they do one? How many people from year 3, when was the first Blood and Guts? I want to say year 2 or 3, maybe 3, because COVID, I know, blocked the first one. Or no, because they ended up doing it. It just the crowd wasn't there for it. I can't remember, year 2 or 3, whatever the fuck. How many people watched that one that didn't return? Like more people than 600K watched those other ones, right? This is like some of the people that used to watch this show 2 years ago tuned into this one. Same thing happened. Like, you can't get cocky about this. Meltzer said what was pleading with Tony Khan this week. Dude, one fucking tweet. Put out one fucking tweet saying, guys, quit being fucking stupid. Like, quit doing this. We're chipping away. We're putting our best foot forward. Stop fucking sicko spurging out over this shit. It helps nothing. Clowning TNA is not going to work for you guys. It's only going to work for me, who says, well, it's AEW and TNA, because that's the perception we get. I don't know what else to tell people, man. I'm sorry to smash your dream.
Master need to obliterate.
You know, of course they were going to pop a number for this. And this isn't even like a number. We're talking about it like they they beat SmackDown this week. Some of the people who used to watch AEW came back. This is the best way I can word it, okay? Not even all of them, just like a few. Right? A couple 100,000, like 130,000. What was their number? Like 477,000 or whatever. So you got like 100,000 people tuned back into this bullshit who fell off. And that's out of the fucking 500,000 who just gave up on this show entirely. You guys get what I'm saying? So Dynamite averaged whatever the fuck, the audience, whatever the fuck. Year over year, Dynamite was down 10% in total viewers. The key demo was down 32%. So sickos, do you see that? Look at that. The key demo was up 67%. Just do the math on this. I'm no mathematician here, but it was up 67% from the week before. But from the year before, it was down 32%, bro. That means 60% of the time, it works every time. That's like a huge number of people. That's just, like I said, some of the people watch this who used to, not even all of them. The shit was up. This is how bad your show is doing right now, okay? 67% was the increase from the week before, but it's down 32% from the year before. Whoa. That's crazy bad. Last week was crazy bad, huh? Last week was fucking dog shit, wasn't it? Like, holy shit, man. It's a lot of people not watching the show anymore. Anyways, I can't stress this enough. Everybody has these fucking ass takes on this shit, and no one points out the obvious thing, which is what I just said. Anyways, year over year, Dynamite was down 10%, and then only down 10% the show overall. But do you guys see what's happening? The key demo's like, fuck, this shit is trash. Oh, Blood and Guts? Yeah, we'll watch this. I mean, it's enough of a gimmick, right? That's all it is. They like gimmicks and stories, guys. So moving along, speaking of gimmicks, the Ultimate Worker, or speaking of Blood and Guts and gimmicks, so AEW Dynamite crowd, we talked about this on the night of, but I just wanted to talk about this a little more just quickly. AEW Dynamite crowd gets a graphic warning ahead of the Blood and Guts event. We read this, so it says, if you have a seat on the floor, you are at risk of being struck by persons, objects, barricades, and other items. Pardon me. Please be aware of the action as you are watching and move out of the way. Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way. If someone or something is coming your way by staying in this area, you assume all risks of injury to yourself and to your property. And I'm sitting here in my mind, I'm like, even children, they don't have agency, right? The comeback to that argument would be, oh, come on now, Phil, that's not very fair. You know, parents give consent, which is true, but like, that's a wild graphic to put on your screen and absolve yourself of all responsibility. But meanwhile, Tony Khan gets a fucking table bumped in front of him and his coffee doesn't even spill and the monitor wobbled a little bit. And fucking he went on television and said, I feared for my life at a wrestling show. Really think about this, guys. 2 men got in a shove match. One of them, barely a boy, literally called boy on their show, hardly a man, got in a shoving match in front of Tone. They wobbled a table and the TV shook a little bit. Your old man shakes the TV worse when you were growing up and he's getting up out of his fucking chair in your living room, right, folks? You know what I'm saying? Like, you've seen way worse shit. Kids on the playground fight harder than Jack Perry and fucking CM Punk were scrapping. Okay? Tony Khan gets his desk wiggled a little bit. He goes on TV and says, I feared for my life at this wrestling show. And then has the audacity to put on events where he gives people caution. Things are going to be flying around. If you get hit with anything, you're at your own risk. It's your own risk. It's all on you. We assume no responsibility, and you shouldn't fear for your life. Sit front row where I feared for my life when a desk got wobbled. Sit front row here. It'll be so great for you to potentially lose an eyeball when a fucking screw or a glass shard comes flying at you and your family. This is family fun. Family entertainment. Bring the kids. Bring the babies. We got earmuffs. I feared for my life here once, though, when a desk got wobbled. But hey, watch out for yourself and your property. You assume all responsibility. If you get impaled, if you get fucking hit with something, some debris flies in your face, you chip a tooth, hits your grandma in the fucking head. This is like the biggest clown show goofball fucking company ever. It makes me like, yeah, fuck it. You know, like it puts me on that side of the argument of like, yeah, fuck, let them go. Let this shit go off TV. Like, this is a joke. How the fuck do you say you were feared for your life and then show what went down on TV, thinking it was gonna make CM Punk look bad, makes you just look like a pussy boy. And then these are the warnings you tell your audience. Oh, look out. Someone might wobble a desk in front of you. They need help, bro. I don't have words. It's like, I'm emotional right now, guys.
Emotional damage.
I'm upset, okay? I am upset.
Wrestling's not fake!
It's just so cringy, man. And like, they act like people don't recall this, or like we're not going to clown on this, or we're not going to point out how is this a caution you give people and you're on TV fearing for your life. And then you tell people this and you're willing to put on matches that this is even a caution that should be cautioned. You're a clown. I'm sorry, Tony Khan. I tried, Tone. I know we used to date, but it's through. I'm true with you. Speaking of blood and guts, Ric Flair, this according to Dave Meltzer. So this is probably the truth. You know, Tony called him right away. Can you believe it? Flair left. Yeah, it's okay. Just make something up in the sheets about this.
Just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
So Ric Flair reportedly left Dynamite after speaking to the crowd. We saw like an image of it or whatever. And Dave says, Rick was there. He suffered a torn rotator cuff. I believe it was from a fall, but I'm not exactly sure how he got it. Then why do you believe it's from a fall, asshole? You're just adding that. I think it was from a fall, but I'm not exactly sure how he got it. But he just got it. I said it was likely from him doing the plank challenge or doing push-ups in a bar again in Jacksonville. Think about it. I'm not sure where Ric Flair lives, but they fly him there. He goes to the bar. He's doing a plank challenge, blows his rotator. I bet it's just some shit like that. And he went to the show and he came out to talk to the fans. He took his arm out of his sling because I guess he didn't want them seeing his arm in a sling. He was booked to appear on the show, Brian. I don't know if he was going to be a part of the Steamboat angle, but it probably was the case. He just, he just felt that he couldn't do the angle. He was in a lot of pain, so he actually went home after he did his promo, which is before the show started. So he was there, but he was hurt. So what, are you defending Tony Khan because he didn't deliver on his fucking promise there, bud? Is that what's going on? So he did not appear on Dynamite. We saw that. Jamie Hayter, speaking of injuries, though, was reportedly may have chipped several teeth and is a little banged up following Blood and Guts. So chipped some teeth and fucking injured there. Okay, after Blood and Guts, speedy recovery to her. We got a little Jim Cornette here. Jim Cornette had a take on Tony Khan and Blood and Guts. And what old Jimmy had to say. And let's hit a thank you, fuck you, bye. Where is it? God damn it.
Thank you, fuck you, bye. Boom.
Things are in different spots because I added some sounds. So David Van Dyke had this to say. Tony Khan should be ashamed of himself, regardless of what Dave Meltzer tells him when he calls or how wrong they both seem to think that Jim Cornette is. James E. would never allow this type of bullshit to take place ever. Seeing young athletic women bleeding too deep and pouring blood is not something the majority of sane people want to see. Now, some people say like, that's sexualist, to be like, I don't like to see women bleeding and shit like that. But so, I mean, it's just in men's nature to like want to protect women and shit. And some people are not into it. They're not into women's MMA. It's always going to be a bit of a stigma. People don't like to see women get beat up. For me, it's like, whatever. I've been, I don't care. I've always liked women's wrestling and shit when they can actually go like Trish and Lita main eventing Raw. I remember that shit. I remember where the fuck I was sitting watching it. They were always my two favorites because they could really go. I was always a fan of the girls who could really go. Victoria, not that I hate on the diva shit. I'm always saying, let's bring sexy back. Yeah. Pro wrestling don't know how to act. We need more sexy valets and shit. We need that too in pro wrestling in general. Just women who valet people. I miss even managers with tennis rackets and shit. Even that. I miss that too. Bobby the Brain, we got Paul Heyman. That's it. This guy's like, you can say it's for the sickos, but TBS and TNT drama need to step in for the mentally stable. Is this true? Is this what you stand for? He tags everyone you could tag. So this is just a snitch tag party here, whatever. But Jim Cornette goes, actually, I was more offended by the fact that the girls' match looks so fucking fake and stupid silly that the blood, but that's just nitpicking. Or then the blood. I'm dyslexic, but that's just nitpicking. Since the bottom line is this is garbage indie wrestling with a big budget because the kid billionaire has some cognitive shit going on. And yeah, that's all it is. Like AEW style is fucking Nuge meets garbage indie deathmatch shit. And it is what it is, man. But Jim Cornette had unkind words there. Most definitely. And this brings us to the subsection of the AEW news. And it's a subsection segment within a segment, Inception style. And it is called The Best Guys, Tony Khan.
Best guys, Tony Khan.
So Tony Khan, Tone, he hopped on a live stream, and we're going to EFAP a couple of these live streams, or one of them here. I think we got two of them. And he revealed that he talked to Billy Corgan. Now, I just wanted to talk about this separately and give my thoughts on it. But TK says he has a lot of respect for Corgan. An NWA national title has its rich history, but AEW will have their own lineage starting with Full Gear. Well, no shit, it's your own lineage, stupid. So I want to read some of this. I believe it's in the video we have here. Okay, but basically, I just want to isolate this part. And he just says, I have a lot of respect for him. To any wrestler anywhere in the world, particularly in the NWA, you might be happy to hear Billy and I had a nice talk about this. I'm sure he would say the same. I'll threaten you with legal action. Remember when I poached all your talent? And then I just cast you aside and said, fuck NWA, and me and Dave Meltzer make fun of you guys now. Remember that? It's like, fuck you, man. Billy Corgan thinks you're a joke too. You guys had a good talk as he's not going to burn bridges. The wrestlers definitely got upset. Corgan might tell them to chill out. But Tony, I'm surprised Tony even picked up the phone and called Billy Corgan or whatever. Because apparently Tony's notorious for just ghosting. He will not confront people. That's why that Mega or whatever her name was got so much heat, because she was in the middle of so much bullshit. And I've heard rumors that she actually is does not like AEW and Tony Khan after her time in AEW. I've heard rumors of that. This is South Park. That could all be fake. But listen, all I'm saying is that I've heard that she actually, her and Shad are this AEW's just keep the fucking kid busy and out of our real business and stuff. And she's sort of on that boat after her time in AEW because she got so much heat. There's other rumors about her that I'll leave Jim Cornette and Brian Last. They can speculate on that, right? Because I don't fucking know anything about it. But I'm not going to read this whole quote. We're going to hear him talk about it. But just when it comes to this NWA shit, and Tony down here said, it's going to have its own lineage. Here's the thing, dude. Then why the fuck did you have Tony Schiavone talking about the NWA's title lineage history and when he came on your video and he's like, when I was in Georgia? Because you're fucking lying. And you knew you were going to get goddamn sued over this shit.
Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
And Tone knew that there was some heat with the Shockwave stuff because he already almost got sued or is being sued according to Brian Idol. Now that is he really being sued? We don't fucking know. According to Brian Idol, NWA suing AEW over the Shockwave thing already. Now, I'm no lawyer and shit. I have no clue. I don't want to speculate on law shit. But if that's the case, then Tony, this would have been brought in on that. They would have been like, look, they're ripping us off again. And they would have fucking. And here's the thing. It might result in that when it comes to the Shockwave thing. Look, dude, they're ripping us off again. So this is not going to fare well for Tony. He doesn't even think about shit like this. Nobody's in his corner pointing out why this shit is bad ideas. Nobody's telling him. Nobody's smart enough to look over. No, he has no lawyer friends who are telling him, yeah, that Andrade guy, let me look over his deal quick, bud, because are you sure you're ready to sign him again? Let me look over his old are we able to get his old contract before we just do that? Would he be willing to let us, would his agent maybe be willing to go through some of the they don't do that. And there's nobody, he doesn't have a lawyer friend telling him, yeah, maybe don't do the national title again when you're going to get sued over the Shockwave shit. So Tony, that's why he desperately, I'm losing faith of the internet. I'm losing face. I need to better call Billy and assure everyone everything's okay. Meanwhile, he just gave Corgan some money and was like, we're good now, right? No, I'm joking. It's not that, but it's just that him coping over the national title and then saying oh yeah, dude, it's its own lineage. Then why did you have Schiavone come out and talk about the lineage of the other belt? It's always reactionary. That's why we know you're lying. That's why we know in AEW, it's always reactionary to other shit. Tegan Knox walks out. Look at the reactions that come out. This guy says, yeah, I said fuck you to Tony Khan. People come out and start burying him out of the wood. Everyone's reactionary. And then you call them out for the reaction. And then they go, oh, no, I was just putting out a message of positive. I was just speaking in general. No, you weren't. Because it's always people reacting to shit. I highly doubt. Tony Khan would have went on his video and said, we know This is what he would have said in that video. The lineage of that NWA title, I mean, it's still going tried and true today. And you know what? Our lineage will be our own lineage that we're creating, which goes without saying. But now he's got to backtrack and say this shit. He just should have left out the old history of the NWA national title. You should have never you should have never had a national title. That shouldn't even be a thing in AEW to begin with, let alone having to now retcon your idea for it. Oh yeah, no, it's going to be our own lineage. It had nothing to do with NWA, I assure you. Bull fucking shit, dude. I don't believe that for one fucking second.